Hi guys, welcome back to Podcast. So for today's video, I will be reviewing this model. So what I got here is the PARA64, the Porsche 935/78, the Moby Dick in the 1978 24 Hour of Le Mans. And this car is, I think, if you follow the Porsche racing or Porsche Motorsports history, you must have known this model, this car, because this is one of the iconic Porsche classic race cars of all time. Like, this sits right beside the 917 and the 956 and also the 935 K3, like the Kremer body kit. And yeah, this is one of the classic Porsche race car that was finally made in 64 scale by PARA64. So yeah, this is the first 935/78. Well, obviously this is the long tail, or they nicknamed the model, the car, Moby Dick, because of the silhouette of the car with the long and very thin. And if you look at the back, there is kind of like a long tail. They took the name from the history. I think the Moby Dick is from the book, right? Like the whale itself. So yeah, that they kind of took the name from that, the Moby Dick. So yeah, this is the model, the car from PARA64, and I am really excited because first, like I said earlier, this is the first model for the Moby Dick. So yeah, I think we are going to just review it. Just going circle around, talk about the Moby Dick. So let's talk about the packaging first. So we got the PARA64. Obviously, this is the brand, and the 1/64 scale diecast at the front. Also, the model name, which I've already talked about earlier. And on the top, you got the brand itself with the scale. And then on the back, we got the license, obviously, because PARA64 is a licensed brand. So we got the Porsche sticker, the hologram sticker, and also the printed one. And then this is the 2024 release 5. So I think this was released in quarter 3 in 2024 or quarter 4. I don't really know. I kind of forgot, but I just got this model. So again, this is the licensing and then the model name. And on the bottom, we got to see the Paragon models, the PARA64 and the 14 Plus. So PARA64 is like the sub-brand from Paragon models, which they made some 118 and 143 scale. So the smaller lineup, the 64 scale lineup, they called it PARA64. So yeah, that is about the packaging. And now let's open the packaging. Well, I need to talk about the artwork on the packaging first. So this is really interesting because you could see the artwork on the packaging itself is using the actual car, the 935/78 with the model name Porsche 935/78. And yeah, I think this is the track, which I don't really know what track it is. But yeah, let's open the packaging and let's take a closer look on the model and see the details. Right, so this is what the model looks like outside of the packaging. And this is very different than the Porsche 935 K3 that was made by Tarmac Works, because that one has a shorter body and obviously a very different body style. Meanwhile, for the Moby Dick, kind of like make the Porsche 930 a little bit, a much longer, especially on the back. But yeah, let's talk about from the front first. So we got the usual plastic headlights, just like other 64 scale model, which in this 935 case is on the bottom of the model near the bumper. And then for the air intakes, it's just a printed, wait, let me see more closely. Can you, oh yeah, so this is just a printed on the casting. Like this is one part with the casting, is not separate plastic parts, but it's just painted black. And then we also got the sponsor, which is obviously, you also already noticed the sponsor is the Martini, and then you can see the Shell logo right here, also with the Porsche logo and the Martini and number 43 for the race car number. And yeah, I kind of forgot about the base. So the base itself has the PARA64 logo with the model name, the Porsche 935 78 Moby Dick, and the 1978 24 Hour of Le Mans. And there is nothing much of it left on the base. So yeah, moving on to the side profile of the model. Let me zoom in out a little bit. So you could see the model itself is very long, and I think PARA64 nailed the silhouette of the model, but I kind of disappointed in how they replicate or reproduce the wheels, because if you look at this angle, you'll notice that the model car sits very high on the ground. Like, the actual car doesn't sit very high like this, and it should be much lower to the ground. So yeah, I kind of disappointed on this matter. The wheels, it should be, I think, maybe a 3D printed or an aftermarket 3D printed wheels can do the job for this to make the car a lot better with the fitment. But yeah, let's talk about the wheels. The wheels itself is pretty simple because it is basically just an aero disc or aero fan or turbo fan, whatever you call it. The wheels itself doesn't have much details because they cover it with this turbo fan details. But I like the tires. The tires is pretty cool. It has a slick tires similar to like the Goodyear or the Avon wheels for the period correct one. And I like the tire profile, which is kind of like a very race car-y look. And then yeah, on the back they have different sizes for both and the front and the back. And then moving on to the livery, so this is the Group 5 race car. So the GR5 is Group 5 in 78. And also we got the sponsor right here, the Bilstein, Bosch, Shell, Dunlop. This one is the race driver, the Jochen Mass, if I'm not mistaken. And also we got the side mirrors right here, which is, I think this is a hard plastic ABS, so you need to be careful with that. And then we got the number 43 as well as this air intakes, which is just a sample printed in black. And then what else? Moving on to the back, we got the Martini again and the turbolator, the Triple K turbo system. And then this air intake is also just a sample printed. And what else? Moving on to the back. Now the back side doesn't have really much of a details because it's mostly covered inside this very elongated bumper. But if you peek at the rear right here, let me try to focus it. I can't focus on it. Oh yeah, so you could see that there is a little part that was supposed to be the taillights right here, but it's not painted in red. It's just kind of like a silver or maybe a clear plastic, but it's still nice. Attention to detail because you don't really see the details out there. Like, it's just covered in this side of the body, but they still do manage to get details inside there, so that is nice. And then I think there is nothing much to talk about on the back because that was just mostly just a plain black plastic details. So we are moving on to the spoiler or the wing. So the wing itself is different for the Moby Dick. This has a very high mounted wing with the side plane or the end plate for the side with the Shell's livery, and also at the center is Martini Porsche. And what else? The interior is just mostly just a plain black plastic except for the roll bar or the roll cage, which is painted in silver to add a little bit more color on the interior. And on the engine cover is just a sample printed in black, so yeah, nothing much to talk about. And what else? the, the roof, they have the Teletron Spray Fong livery, and also the number 537. I think this may not be the actual race car livery. This one looks like a number that was used for the Goodwood festival, if not mistaken. Like, if this car appeared on Goodwood festival to kind of like to be displayed or to be used on the track, they have this particular number which kind of reminds me of Goodwood. So I think this one is based on the Goodwood spec. It's not like the actual race car, so I don't really know. I need to check them after I make this video. But yeah, I think this number is supposed to be for the Goodwood festival number. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. So this is the PARA64 Porsche 935 78, or the Moby Dick in 1978 24 Hour of Le Mans, with the classic and the iconic Martini livery, which I really like. And what else? I think PARA64 should make more variant for this model, like maybe let's see, the swap shop theme, you know, the T-Bird. Maybe a PARA64 team watch my video, and I hope that you guys make the T-Bird swap shop teams, because that car is kind of like what makes the Rexy or the AO Racing livery so popular right now. Because without the T-Bird or the swap shop team, AO Racing wouldn't be here right now. So yeah, that is one of the classic livery too, and I hope they make it. And also, I'm trying to find the Momo livery, which kind of like released at the same time with this Martini, and it is really hard to find here in Indonesia, because there are not much seller that imported the item here, because nobody wants it, because nobody knows what car is this. Like, it's very weird, it's very long. So yeah, yeah, I think just gonna stop yapping right here on the video. So yeah, I think thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.